welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of our subscribers. Thank you all that subscribe to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. You are highly and very welcome. Okay guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to cut off shoulder neckline. That's how to cut and sew them. It is a very simple way. So most people have been asking about, and the measurement, that's the standard measurement to use, so the off shoulder will not be too wide, it will not be falling off from your sleeve, that's from your shoulder. So that's what we're going to be doing today. If you are new to the channel, you are highly and very welcome. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to Stylish Naija YouTube channel and then hit on the bell also to get an update when I upload a new video. If you want to register for our online classes, you can see my number scrolling through the screen. Just send me a message on WhatsApp and then I'll give you the details of the classes that we have available. Okay, so this tutorial we're going to be starting it. We're not going to be drafting the pattern afresh. I already have off shoulder pattern on the channel, so I'll drop the link. This is like a very good off shoulder pattern, so you can see. So we're making them on a bust here, so you can see this is our pattern, this is the back. So these are the ones that I've cut out already, so you can see even without putting any pad on it, you can see that the bustier is standing perfectly well. So that is how nice this pattern is. So I'm going to drop the link for you so you can see it. So this is your off shoulder pattern. So I have them. We're going to be doing about 4 different neckline. So all you are going to do, that's after cutting your bustier, you are not going to add any neckline to it. So you go ahead, you go and stitch it. So when you stitch it, you have something like this, that's you join on the dart line. So after joining on the dart line, that's when you're now going to add your neckline. So with that, it's going to be perfect. But if you add your neckline before joining, it's not going to work out. So now we're going to start with the first pattern. So this is the back pattern. So I'll show you how to add the back neckline also to this off shoulder necklines. So let's just get started with the first one that we're going to be doing. So for the first one, we're just going to be doing the simple one, which is the round neckline. So that one is like the easiest off shoulder neckline. So what you are going to do for this kind of neckline, when you want to cut, okay, so this is it. So you have your bustier pattern already laid out. I think I should make use of this one. Already laid out perfectly well. You see it. So you are going to fold it like this. You fold it and then just lay it flat down. And then the next thing you are going to do now, so you know we already have our cut, everything together. So you are going to come to this point like this. For the off shoulder one, that's for the round neckline. Remember your 5 inches that we used to drop. So you are going to make sure you put this into consideration. So for this, we're going to be making the neckline. We're going to be making it 7. Depends on how much depth you want it to be. So this is like 7 inches, which is okay. If you want it deeper, you can make it as deep as you want, and then you mark it on this point. So from this point, here is what you are just going to do. From this point, you're just going to make sure you make a beautiful curve to the armhole point like this. Make a beautiful curve to the armhole point like this. So you see how easy it is. So for this one, we're going to cut it with the back neckline. So the back neckline, most times like 80% of our off-shoulder dresses, the back neckline is always a round neckline. So you are just going to place it like this. So we cut the front and the back together. So you just float it into the armhole area. So with this, the neckline is not going to be, so you can see how beautiful it is. Can't you see it? You see how beautiful the off shoulder neckline is looking. I just want to make sure that you can see it properly. So you can see it. You see how it is looking really beautiful. So for the back neckline, most times 80% of the off-shoulder dresses, their back neckline is usually higher. It's always deeper. So for the back, we're just going to increase it with about 2 inches. So the same thing, you just make sure you just float it into that point. So with this, the back will be deeper and then the front is a little bit high. So here's our back piece. This is how it's looking. So you can see that it's looking really perfect. So you can see just like that picture that I showed you earlier. So that's for the round. So this back neckline is what we're going to use for all. So okay, so we're going to cut the next neckline. So the next neckline that we're cutting is the PN and V. So you take your pattern like this, and then you fold it like this into two. So for this you have to really watch it. So it depends on how high you want that this part. So the basic of that of this PNV is around this dart line. If you notice, it came up and entered into the armhole and then came like this. So you are going to measure, depends on how deep you want the center piece to be. So for that center piece, if you notice, you see that it's not very open. So I'm going to use about half of an inch. So I'll just mark the half of an inch here. And then from this point, always make sure you remember your 5 inches. So it depends on how deep you want it to be. So it depends on how deep you want it to be. So for this one, we're going to make use of 7 inches depth. So that's the 7 inches and then half of an inch. So from this 7 inches, here's what you are going to do. You are going to mark it like this. And then when you come towards this dart point, from this point, it's going to that you're going to make a curve. I'm just excuse me. I'm just trying to make use of my free hand. So you're just going to make a high curve to the dart point like this. After making it to the dart point, from this dart point, you are going to make like a round and then you float it into the armhole point like this. You float it into the armhole point. So I'm going to go over that again, just shading it. So make sure that on this dart point it is high, and then when you come to this point you bring it down like this to the 7 inches. Depends on how many inches you want to use. So that is what will give this place that round deep arc. That's that high arc. So if you want it more, you can go down more, and then so everything you do, make sure it does not go deep into the armhole point. So because everything that you are doing, this is just like the base. You understand? If it gets too deep, your off shoulder it will fall out from your neckline. It will be falling out. So I'll go ahead now, open it up so you can see what we have. So you see how it is looking. So if you want it higher, that means you have to come down more. But I think this is okay. Okay, so you can see how it is looking like. So you see, so if you want it higher, you can come down more for you to get the arc more high. So now we're going to go ahead. Now we're going to cut the third one. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to cut the third neckline. So this third neckline is like a shoulder yoke Queen Anne neckline. If you notice it, it looks like a Queen Anne neckline, but the shoulder are joined together. It's not the original Queen Anne that is cut together. This one this cut separately. The shoulder is joined to it. So for this kind of neckline, if you notice that it is not very deep and not very exposed. So what you are going to do, you are going to come to this center part. That's the center part of the neckline, and then you are going to determine where how deep you want that to be. So for that part, I'm just going to use about quarter of an inch. That's the width that I'm going to use from here to here. It's going to be about quarter of an inch. It's not up to half inch. And then from this point, I'm going to make on this top part, you are going to make like a straight, that you're going to make it like straight. So that's the I'm just trying to explain it as much as I can. And then the depth, you are going to determine how deep you want it to be. So for this, I'm going to go with about 6.5. So this is 6.5. So from this 6.5 part, remember the quarter of an inch, you're going to make like a curved V behind like this. And then once you get to this point, so for this part, you are going to make sure you're not going to make it too deep. You're just going to float it into this part, and then once it gets to this part it's going to be like straight, and then once you get to this part it comes in like this. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain, please. So you float it in like this, and then this part is straight into the armhole part. So let's cut it out to see. And then here's where you have your core. So I'll go ahead now, open it up so you can see what we have. So in adding the yoke to it, I'm just trying to explain. I've done something like this before on my YouTube channel. So for the Queen Anne neck, for the Queen Anne yoke, that's the yoke on the side. You're just going to cut it. I'll drop the link of how to do this, and then it's going to stay like this on the armhole point. That's the yoke is usually like this. So you have it like two, like this, facing each other, like this. So once you have them facing each other like this, you see the Queen Anne effect will come out. It's not a cut together. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So I'll drop the link for this so you can see how it is looking. And then the last one that we're going to cut the one that is very deep. That's the deepest one. So for the deepest one, we're going to use about 9 inches. So it entered into the cleavage area. So you put this like this into consideration. This is our 9 inches. And then from this 9 inches, the width on the center is about 1 inch. So you mark 1 inch, and then you float this into your armhole area like this. So this one is like a plunging V. So you see it is like a plunging V. So you see it came down like this and then entered into the neckline part, into the shoulder rather, to the armhole. So you can see what we have. So if you don't want it to be very deep, if you want it to be deeper, you can make it to be deeper than this. So if you want it to be deeper, you can still go down more. So it depends on how deep you want it to be. Now you can see. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay all of our necklines here for you to see. Okay, so I hope you can see them. Okay, guys, so at the end of the day, so you can see all of our necklines. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, please, I will appreciate if you hit on the like button. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. You can drop your questions on the comment section. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. God bless you. Bye. Bye.